Unless something absolutely exceptionally amazing comes out this year, it looks like Hogwarts Legacy might take my Game of the Year for 2023. For many fans of the IP, we have been waiting for a Harry Potter game like this. That's no offense to a couple of the fun games we got during the PS1 and PS2 era, and shout out to my boy PS1 Hagrid, but this is a major upgrade. The scale of the world, the number of activities, the faithfulness to the IP, it's astounding what the clearly underrated Avalanche team has made. They did good by us Harry Potter fans, and maybe even people who will be experiencing the wizarding world for the first time. So with so much to explore and discover in this fantasy land, there's obviously going to be a sizable amount of trophy hunting to be had here. With the surrounding highlands to explore, that makes this game an open world adventure, and that has a good and bad implication for the Platinum run. It's great in the sense that you'll explore the game fully if you choose to go for the Plat, but again, we see with another open world Platinum run, the temptation to use the forbidden spell to bloat this trophy run has been realized. And spoiler alert for the trophy guide, this is the most we have seen in terms of collectibles on the channel, full stop. That doesn't mean that there's no reason to check out this Platinum run. What's the X factor in all of this? You're a wizard, Harry, or whatever your name is. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. Don't forget to check out my other videos if you like what I do on this channel. If you want more Platinum Trophies or some ideas for games you want to play, definitely check out the playlist I've got in the top corner. And don't forget to subscribe for more Trophy Guide videos just like this, because you might just find your next Platinum Trophy. Breaking this Platinum run down to its simplest explanation, you just have to beat the story, finish the side content, get all the collectibles needed, and do a few miscellaneous trophies. This is similar to most open world trophy runs we have covered on the channel. However, if you start doing research and plotting out how you can accomplish this, you will realize how much more complicated this magical endeavor becomes. There are a staggering amount of collectibles in this game, with many different types of them. They are sometimes required for their own dedicated trophy, and sometimes required for an overarching trophy. Some of these are marked on the map, and some of them are not. Some of them have complex systems to acquire them, or progression gates, so as you can see, this open world Platinum run is a lot messier than most, and it's going to require some serious explanation in this video. At least you can play it on any difficulty you like, so at least that doesn't spark up the Platinum difficulty too much. One thing I forgot to mention is that you need to do 4 playthroughs of the game. 1 full playthrough and 3 2 to 3 hour partial playthroughs. Scared you, right? It's all related to your choice of house, and we'll get into all that mess in the video. There is an elephant in the room of requirement here, in that this game has a PS4 version of the game, but at the time of recording this guide, it's not released yet. It's set to come out May 5th, 2023, but it's been delayed a bunch of times already, so I don't even know if that date will be concrete. It also doesn't bode well for the integrity of this version of the game. So I don't know if this trophy has auto pop or all that kinds of stuff that goes with it, when you can transfer saves or not, and I will update you in the description below with more info when this version finally drops. The description is also a great place to find some excellent guides I've provided to assist you, and I mean it more than any other game I've covered on this channel. Please use them to help you, because there are a lot of collectibles and a lot going on in this platinum run. I'll do my best to try and break it down for you, but if you're looking for something specific, these are the best places to go and check when you need help. Let's get sorted into our house and get going on this magical year of trophy hunting at Hogwarts. There are 15 unmissable trophies, and this includes story trophies for the main quests, a few tutorial trophies, and one endgame trophy that takes you to the real end credits. It's one final quest with a golden map marker, and fans of the series will really appreciate it at the end of the day. Just overall, Avalanche's attention to all these details is absolutely astonishing. I can only think of a handful of games like Marvel's Spider-Man or the Arkham games as examples that utilize their IP to this degree. Picking your house at the start of the game won't drastically change your overall experience in this game, but it does trophy-wise. On screen now, we have 4 missable trophies that only unlock by reaching the map chamber while placed in a certain house. So what you need to do is pick the house that you want to do a full playthrough on, and then you'll have to do 3 partial playthroughs to pick up the other trophies later. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to get to the point where you discover the map chamber, and by the 4th house, I actually got the run down to less than 2 hours. It's a bit annoying making the player do 3 unnecessary plays, but at least this will have you explore all of the house exclusive quests when you meet Jackdaw, which are all really cool, some better than others. I am a staunch Hufflepuff because Honey Badger don't give a fuck, and clearly we got the best exclusive quest in the game. These trophies are only missable because of the fact that you can only pick one house, so it nullifies the trophy for the other 3. If that's the extent of missable trophies in this game, I think the devs did a great job here making sure nothing else is missable. On your full playthrough, you'll need to complete all of the side quests if you want to collect the Good Samaritan trophy. There are a total of 58 side quests to complete, plus 12 assignments as schoolwork that add up to 70 that you need for the trophy. And yes, this includes the fantastic PlayStation exclusive Minding Your Own Business quest. This was a banger. You'll have many activities to do and many people to help with their problems that they can't seem to solve themselves with magic. Some of these side quests are not going to appear on the map all the time, so I have a guide below that lists all of the side quests and where to find them. The ones that usually don't appear on the map are the ones with treasure maps, which I needed some help finding the X mark anyways. Also note that the character exclusive quests don't count towards this trophy, but instead have their own dedicated trophies. In quite a few cases, the side quest lines for your classmates are even better than the main story. On screen now are those 3 quest lines and their trophies. I don't really want to go too in depth with them because all 3 are excellent and I don't want to spoil anything. But shout out to Sebastian Sallow's story, which is so good. Holy Merlin's beard. Who would have thought a Slytherin would have been the best character in this entire game? No offense to my Slytherins watching. We have 2 more lower stakes side quest lines and their trophies on screen now for the owner of the Splint Witches Sporting Needs shopkeeper, Albie Weeks, and your house elf Deke, which looks after the Room of Requirement. These 2 storylines feel like tutorials for broom flying and crafting respectively, and they're quite fun as well. The broom races are not too challenging to beat, but you will have to learn how to control the damn thing, so you can soar through these ring courses and beat Imelda's time. The Room of Requirement just becomes this wonder-filled environment as it continues to open up and give you new things. Then there's the Spellmaster trophy for learning all of your spells. Many of these spells were given to me through the main quests at different intervals. Plus, you can complete the requirements for each professor assignment, which will teach you a brand new spell. All of this felt very automatic as I got the trophy just by completing all the quests. There are 26 you need for the trophy, even though there are more than that. The game does not count the spells used for the Room of Requirement and the forbidden spells, which, yes, you can use them in-game with as much reckless abandon as you want. There's not a whole lot of consequence to using them. There's this odd quest that gets its own trophy, and it's called Follow the Butterflies for the side quests where you literally follow the butterflies. This is actually just the first time you will do this, as there are more opportunities that get added to the world map and they will become more important later in the guide. So keep that in the back of your head because it's going to come up later. Lastly, we have the side quest for one Galdwin Moon, and the trophy is called Demiguise Dread, although this side quest requires a lot more work. This side quest involves finding all of the Demiguise statues that have been scattered all over the place, which frightens Mr. Mood, preventing him from going practically anywhere. There are a total of 33 of these scattered in Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, and even some villages in the Highlands, and the trick is that you can only collect these at night, but that's okay when you can rewind time. If you find one during the day, just go into the map menu and change it to nighttime. A quick nap on the floor of a stranger's house, and now you can collect it. However, some of these Demiguises will be behind locks of various levels, and it's a good thing that this particular quest teaches you how to lockpick. Return enough of the Demiguises you've collected to Mr. Moon, and he will teach you the next level of lockpicking. Then you can perform breaking and entering on more locations. Getting this side quest out of the way is great for not just this trophy, but for later when we get into the weeds of this platinum run covering the challenges and collections. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we still have a few more trophies left to cover. Doing practically anything in this game will give you a ton of XP, so you can level up, especially completing the main and side quests. And of course, there's a trophy for hitting the max level, and it's called a Forte 4 achievement, which you get for hitting level 40. If you want to know if I had to grind my level in any way, shape, or form, nope, I wasn't done going for all the trophies by the time I leveled up to the max, and that's a good thing. There is so much to do, especially for the challenges and collections I keep mentioning, that XP comes to you like water and you don't have to worry about it at all, not having anything to do to power level yourself later on. Each time you level up, you'll also collect another talent point. So the leveling trophy and this trophy called Savvy Spender go hand in hand, as you need to level up to the max, then spend all the talent points in the 5 different skill trees. Now make note that the trophy does not say buy all the skills, because by level 40 you won't receive enough talent points to do exactly that. That's why I think we'll mostly see a New Game Plus update with a level cap increase to get the remaining skills. But for the purposes of this platinum run, you just have to spend the points any way you like to get the trophy. Before we get into the crunchy and painstaking part of the platinum run, let's have some fun. We have magic. Time to get the Spilled Milk trophy. After you have unlocked the Flipendo spell, go and test it on some cows and do some extreme cow tipping. To get this trophy, you'll need to flip cows 10 times, whether it's multiple cows or whether you're just picking on one. Then there's the trophy, The Root of the Problem, which is also quite fun and handy in combat. You will get this trophy by stunning 10 enemies using Mandrakes, those glass-shatteringly loud plant things. Mid-combat, you can pull one out and destroy your opponent's eardrums, and you'll need to hit 10 enemies of any variety. You'll also collect some from your classes, and you can purchase some in Hogsmeade, but you can even grow them yourself in the Room of Requirement as long as you have a large potting table and the seeds to grow them, which you can get in Hogsmeade. Speaking of combat, we have the Raising Expectations trophy for building a combo of 100 hits. It looks like a daunting trophy, but it's actually quite easy as long as you are good with your Protego timing. You will need to get this trophy in a long fight where you'll have enough enemies to get it, or some bulky enemies to keep attacking. Your basic attacks are the best way to build up that combo number, so stick with that unless a dangerous enemy shows up. Remember to hit every Protego or dodge unblockable attacks. If you drop the difficulty to story, this makes it even more easy, as the prompts for the enemy attacks are so telegraphed that it's not even funny. Just keep up the multiplier till it hits 100 and the trophy will be yours. And one more miscellaneous trophy we have to cover is called the Ends Petrify the means. While in stealth, you can actually pull off a stealth kill, so to speak, by using Petrificus Totalis. If you are a Harry Potter fan, you already know how much fun this spell is. Walk up behind an enemy and press square to pull it off. You'll need to freeze 100 enemies in place, taking them out. You can even use one cast to hit a crowd of enemies, which is even more satisfying. Just make sure you do it while you're under your guise of your disillusionment spell. Alright, here we go. The biggest and most overarching trophy in this game is the Collector's Edition trophy, in which you have to collect and complete everything found in the Collections tab of the menu. And if you're thinking, okay, how bad could it be? Well, tab over to it and count up everything. Oh wait, I got time. Exactly. If you didn't count it up, I'll spoil the total for you. It's a magical total of 603, not including the extra DLC stuff. However, the overall collecting experience is way worse than that, because if you include the stuff from the challenges tabs and other stuff for certain trophies, that brings the total up even higher. Yeah, this is easily the biggest amount of collectibles in a game that we've covered on the show. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this grind to finish all of these sucked. Maybe less because we are in the wizarding world, but it still sucked. The only way I can think of helping you find all of these is by providing you really good guides found in the description below, and by tackling the most important activities that not only make the collections tab complete, but pop some additional trophies along the way. Both the Power Picks and PSN Profiles guides are amazing, and they've been lovingly crafted, and I have to give a commendation to those authors for taking on such a tremendous undertaking that making this guide must have been hard. But absolutely, do yourself a favor first and get the Floo Around the World trophy before you start your collectible hunt. This trophy is for finding all 83 Floo Flame spots, which act as fast travel spots. I recommend waiting to activate them when you get your broom, which I loved as a means for transportation. The hippogriff is cool too, but when you have the broom with the upgrades, you'll be soaring through the air. You'll need full access to the map for most of these collectibles we are going to cover, so make sure you get those flame spots. By also completing the challenges tab, you can get a great deal of these collections done quicker. They give you rewards for completing each tier, and that reward will slot into various categories in the collections menu. You'll also get the Challenge Accepted trophy after you complete all tiers of one challenge type, so that's another one down. The challenges are split into 5 categories and will have you meeting different requirements for each. In the combat section, you have to beat a certain enemy type a number of times, defeat all of the infamous moves which are marked on the map with skulls, as well perform enough of the dueling feats which ask you to beat enemies in a certain way. These dueling feats never run out, and you can complete ones you've already performed before. The only bad thing is that when you encounter enemies, the listed feat criteria is random, so if you don't want to try and beat that certain criteria, just ignore it and wait for a new enemy encounter. The quest section is easy to complete if you just complete the main story, side quests, and wizard assignments, and we've covered those trophies already, so as long as you are aiming for those, that section will clear itself. The exploration section is where things get painful, as it's mostly a bunch of map markers to go to and world activities. We have the ancient magic spots, where you have to find 3 ancient magic thingies that appear out of the ground in a certain area. We have the astronomy tables that you go star seeing, balloon popping where you have to fly through 5 balloons in a row, broom landing spots, and then, oh boy, sigh, there's the Merlin trials. These Merlin trials are like small puzzles that require you to use your magic to solve them. You will need an ingredient called Mallowsweet to activate them, and then you'll have to complete the puzzle. The challenges menu only lists 52 of them to complete it, But for the Merlin's Beer Trophy, you will need to clear all 95 Merlin trials, so almost double that. As if we didn't have enough shit to collect already. There are only 9 variations of these puzzles, so if I have to roll a ball up or down a hill one more time, I'ma start using some forbidden spells on some fools. They were cool at first, but ultimately they got old really, really fast. Doing all of them when you don't need them for the challenges feels like an extracurricular homework activity, and that shit always sucks. The last criteria is related to the Hogwarts secrets, in which there's only 3 of them. These are highly secret spots in the castle, and one of them has its own trophy. You'll pop the Room with a View trophy when you reach the highest part of the castle by lockpicking a level 3 lock in the headmaster's study that leads to this high up place. So you will need to complete Galdwin Moon's Demiguise quest we mentioned earlier till you learn how to pick level 3 locks. Check the guide for the location of the other 2 Hogwarts secrets. Now on to everybody's favorite tab, the field guides. How lovely! In all seriousness, this sucked. Aside from the fact that there's lots of lore when you read these things, which that is cool. For the challenge tab, you'll need to find 100 pages in Hogwarts, 50 pages in Hogsmeade, and 30 pages in the Highlands world map. These totals will include any type of page you find, whether it's the ones that you use Revelio to find, the pages flying around on their own, the ones from returning butterflies, or any other puzzle types like that. However, when we get into the collections tab later, you will see that you'll need all of the Revelio pages specifically, so in due time we'll talk about that. The final challenge tab here to take a look at is for doing a bunch of activities in the Room of Requirement. The first challenge requires you to breed 10 types of magical beasts. This is the cool Chow Garden sequel part of the Room of Requirement where you can feed, groom, and yes, breed your fantastic beasts you have rescued. While the challenge only wants 10 beasts breeded, you have the trophy called the Nature of the Beast for breeding 12 of them. 2 more is not a big deal. You will need to purchase the breeding pen first from the Tomes and Scroll shop in Hogsmeade before you can start breeding your beasts. Then put a male and female beast of the same species in the pen. You can even use the special story beasts you get like the Lord of the Shore. The only beast that you can't breed is the Phoenix, but the 12 other are eligible. But how do you get more beasts? That's where the second challenge comes in. You'll need to rescue a total of 60 beasts to complete these 3 tiers. If you have completed your House Elf Deek's quest, you will definitely have the luggage that acts like a vacuum with a black hole in it to capture them. Go around to the beast camps marked on the map and start sucking them in, each species at a time. Make sure you get 1 male and 1 female. With the rest of the extra beasts, I recommend selling them at the Brood and Peck in Hogsmeade to bring up your money funds. This is currently the best way to farm money in the game. The final challenge we have to cover is for upgrading gear pieces a total of 30 times. You'll unlock this ability again through the Deek's side quest line, and you can drop the gear upgrade table down and start making your stats stronger. You'll need to choose 1 piece of gear and upgrade it 3 times to get the 3rd times a charm trophy. The thing with this trophy is that every next upgrade after the subsequent one requires more materials and becomes more costly. So get the 1 piece of gear to 3 upgrades, and for the rest of the upgrades for the challenge, just stick to upgrading them once. If you're short on materials, you can go to Hogsmeade and buy them there from the different shops, but by far the best place to get materials is by grooming and feeding your beasts. They will give you a generous amount of materials that will make upgrading gear very easy and quick. That's every challenge covered, and now we're primed to finish off the collections tab by collecting all of the remaining things. But before we cover that, hit the like button before I crucio your bitch ass until you do it. I'm sorry, that's not nice. I love you guys, I wouldn't do that to you. Maybe I'll just use Flipendo instead. More nausea, less pain. Okay, the first section of the Collections tab is labeled Tools, which includes potions and plants. You will need to craft or grow one of each of the 10 types. Some of them you'll do automatically as part of the story when you're in the classrooms, but the rest you will need to buy the recipe in Hogsmeade first, then set up a brewing or potting table in the room of requirements so you can do them. Pretty easy and not so time consuming, but you'll need the right ingredients to get it done. You'll collect the Going Through the Potions trophy after you brew all 6 different potion types, and then there is also a trophy for growing all 8 plant types called Put Down Roots. So that's another 2 trophies to collect in the process of this bigger and overarching trophy for the collections. The second section is Enemies, in which the magic number is 69. No spells in the bedroom, please. Anyways, these are for all the enemy types you will come across in the game, in which most of them will be found just by doing the main story and all the side quests. This will get you to a very big majority of them. You'll also find many of them in the world map just roaming around in groups. The infamous foes we already talked about for the challenges are also needed to complete this section, so make sure you clap them all. The 2 arenas are a great place to find enemies you might be missing. Plus you'll get the Rise to the Challenges trophy once you fight through both of them. These arenas will throw you into 5-round beatdowns against a bunch of different enemy types. It's a simple goal: defeat them all and survive 5 rounds. Now there are actually 3 battle arenas, but one of them is a pre-order bonus, so you'll only need to beat the 2 main ones. And while you're casting Stupefy on all these enemies, make sure you hit them with some ancient magic, which always looks so awesome when you use it. The lightning bolt one is my fave. It's just so visceral. The one where you slam them to the ground is a close second. But the reason I'm saying hit every enemy type is because for the Finishing Touches trophy, you'll need to use ancient magic on every type of enemy. This does not mean using it on all 69 enemies, as some are just variations of the same enemy. So instead, just use ancient magic on the 34 enemy types. That's much better, as this means one-time boss goblins and grunt goblins are all the same type of enemy, and it saves this trophy from being missable for whatever reasons that could end up happening. It's absolutely awesome how they avoided missable trophies other than the obvious ones for the house partial playthroughs. Now for the third category, which is appearances. This is for all the different outfit types you can collect. Transmog in this game is so well done, and you can put on a piece of gear with great stats and change its appearance to whatever you've unlocked in just a few clicks. There's a total of 91 unique appearances, and they are all unlocked, again, mostly through main and side quests, which is going to be a common theme here. As well, you'll unlock many through the challenges as rewards. The rest you're missing come from these chests, found literally all over. Hogwarts has a bunch, Hogsmeade has some, and the world map has a crap ton. There are other things you can find in these chests, but a bunch of appearances will be randomly given to you inside these chests, and I absolutely mean random because these chest rewards are randomized. You can duplicate looks with better stats, but at the time you're almost done with the platinum run, you should have every look in your inventory at least once, so long as you're opening the chests and not neglecting them. Now we have the 150 Revelio pages, which we mentioned earlier with the field guide pages in the challenges. This tab is for all the field guide pages that you can only find using Revelio close to a point of interest. These are all lore based and sitting beside cool sites like the Sorting Hat, the Pungent Room, the house entrances, and so on. When you use Revelio, you will hear a ding. That will tell you that there's one close by. I tried my hardest to find them all in this way, just using Revelio and the ding, but ultimately I had to bend the knee and use the guides provided below. The map will tell you how many you're missing in each sub area, which is cool, but a good guide triumphs over all. Next is the beast section, and if you've already done all the beast related challenges, you will clear this section in no time. You'll need to find all 13 beasts, including the phoenix, which is just at the end of Deke's side quest line. So this is one of the more simpler sections to clear. Traits is the 6th section, and this is where things get interesting. Traits are these gems that you pair with your gear to give you certain buffs and extra abilities. If you're really into making your power strong, these are vital to that strategy. Now to get all of these, start by grabbing the ones from the Challenges tab, which we already went over. Done. What's next? Well, all the rest can be found in the world map, specifically inside of bandit camps. These are marked on the map so you can go and visit these ruffians and steal their loot, which is probably stolen in the first place. One thing that you can do if the bandit camp has not appeared on the map is to wait till it's nighttime, hop on your broom and use Revelio. This will show you everything that is in your vicinity, and the radius goes pretty far too. You can also zoom all the way out of the map menu to look at the map by section, and it gives you a full list of everything in that particular area. For the platinum, you'll have to clear everything on the list for one reason or another, so get used to checking it. These bandit camp chests will help you collect the rest of the traits and clear this section of the collections. Technically, these bandit camp chests are considered as collection chests, and these are very important for these next 2 parts of the collections menu. Wand handles are next, and aside from the ones you collect from challenges and quests, the rest are found in collection chests scattered all over the place. These collection chests are different from the regular chests, especially in appearance, and they'll also appear on the map menu in its own icon and on your mini-map as you walk up closer to one. The item you receive inside any given chest is random, but thankfully you can't collect duplicates, so it's only going to pull from the pool of items you are missing. So this is going to require you to go one by one through Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, Highland Towns, and various dungeons, and open all of those collection chests. Many are going to be found behind locked doors, so you'll need to do a lot of lockpicking. You can track them with your map menu, and if you hover over a particular town or dungeon, it will tell you whether there's a collection chest hidden somewhere in it or not. Speaking of dungeons, there's the Intrepid Explorer trophy for visiting all of the Karn dungeons in the game, in which there are 5. I'm not really entirely sure what makes these Karn dungeons so special when comparing them to the many regular dungeons, but I know some of them are related to side quest lines and can only be visited either during or after you complete those missions. In the process of collecting all the collection chests, you'll just get this trophy naturally. Conjurations is the next section, and they are items that you also find randomly inside of the collection chests. They work exactly like the wand handles in that you will randomly get them when opening a chest. However, there are a lot more of these found elsewhere. In Hogsmeade, you can buy a bunch of these at the Tomes and Scrolls shop, so you'll need to buy each one. Using the beast farming strategy I mentioned earlier to help you collect enough money, you can buy them all. The next place to look for these are in the vivariums where your beasts are. I was actually shocked to find inside of each of the 4 vivariums there are 3 chests. That will get you 12 more conjurations. And the final place to look is by doing the 15 butterfly locations, which have its own separate guide below. This is spun off of that weird Follow the Butterfly Sidequest Trophy we talked about earlier, and you can do 14 more of these. They weren't marked in the map menu for me, so I either had to look it up with the guide or use that nighttime Revelio trick to find them. So these conjurations will keep you busy as you fly and fast travel across the map looking for all these chests. Thankfully, the last 2 collection sections we need left in this guide are much simpler. Second to last is the Ingredients tab, which I naturally picked up while playing the game or growing them in the Room of Requirement. There are 16 of them, and you can even buy them between the vendors in Hogsmeade and all the random vendors in the Highlands, so this one is no sweat. Neither is the last and final section of the Collections tab, the 13 Brooms. You will get 4 of them from the challenges tab, so that's covered. Then the last 9 are purchased from certain vendors. 5 of them found at Splint Witches, Sporting Needs, the shop in Hogsmeade, and then the last 4 are purchased from the Highland vendors Rohan, Prakash, Priya Treadwell, Arn, that's it, no last name, just Arn, and Leopold Babcock. Some of these brooms fetch as high as 5,000 gold, so make sure that you collect lots of money before going for them, or do the beast farming to get enough money. That ends this absolutely time-consuming collecting ordeal and completes the collection menu fully. This will pop the Collector's Edition trophy finally, and hopefully this puts an end to the Platinum run for you. That was a ton of explanations and work, so you deserve to rest your wand now. If you have learned every spell, including the forbidden fun ones, dropped a few people on their heads with ancient magic, helped all your classmates with their thrilling quest lines, and I'm not even being sarcastic about that, got a truckload of collectibles like field pages, demiguises, wand handles, brooms, you know what, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And collected all the trophies? Congratulations! You will be awarded the Trophy Triumph Platinum Trophy for Hogwarts Legacy. So I have no clue if there's going to be DLC for this game, as at the time of recording this, there have been no announcements from the devs either confirming or denying that they're working on something. Avalanche is probably hard at work to get the game out on PS4, Xbox One, and even the Switch, which, good luck with that. But this game has been such a rousing success that maybe they will do DLC. Maybe Quidditch, which is something that everybody is wanting. Or maybe they jump right to Hogwarts Legacy 2. At this point, all I can say is check the description below for an update, and of course I will make a new video covering the DLC trophies should we get some. Please put Quidditch in the game, please. Please! Overall, there are certain things that definitely piss me off about this Platinum run, for sure, like the Merlin trials, and for the gratuitous amounts of collectibles shoved in here. But as an experience, man, what a faithfully, lovingly made game. That kind of sentiment overshadows my displeasures with this game, and admittedly, a lot of these collectibles are very, very interesting. I've rattled a lot on other open world games for the same reasons of bloat, so I'm gonna have to stay steadfast on my criticisms. But I also think this Platinum run is way more tolerable once you get into the cleanup step because of all the callbacks to the Harry Potter series. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, you might not get the same feelings of wonder and excitement as someone who is, and you might want to quit out when you realize that you have a good 30 to 40 hours of just collecting everything. But the strength of this IP and how it was interwoven into the experience can really help you go the distance on this Platinum run. I'm eagerly awaiting to see what Avalanche does next, whether it is indeed DLC or a sequel. Many people counted out this team that has only done smaller projects like Tak and the Power of Juju and Disney Infinity, but not anymore. Congrats on your success, Avalanche, and I cannot wait for more Harry Potter magic. That's it for this video. Man, was it a doozy to record, to make. It's a long one for sure. Probably, I'm thinking almost as long as the Returnal and Hades guides. But there's just so much explanation with this trophy guide and just so much to cover that it just naturally hit this much time. It's crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys find it thorough enough to help you get this Platinum, because it's very complicated for an open world game, even more complicated than like Ghost of Tsushima or Horizon or almost any other open world game we've covered so far. So let me know if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you liked it, and I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly magically well, and peace out.